You're listening to the House Hacking Podcast, the blueprint for one of the best financial life hacks there is. House hacking. If you are looking to get ahead financially or learn about the easiest way to get started with real estate investing, then you are in the right place. Stay tuned and join a community of individuals from all walks of life that use house hacking to eliminate their housing costs and accelerating their path to financial independence. Your number one place for all things house hacking.
Andres, man, I'm so excited to have you on the show today. I mean, how are you doing? And for folks that don't know you, where are you calling in from?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Andrew. Really appreciate it. I am in Austin right now from El Paso, Texas.
Ooh, very, very hot real estate market right now.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty insane right now.
Yeah. So, for the folks that don't know you, I mean, let's just start with this high-level summary. I mean, give us a little bit of recap of like getting out of school, the work you did, and getting into your first house hack.
Of course. So I went to Austin to start at the University of Texas at Austin when I was 19. And to tell you the truth, I thought I wanted to be a supply chain manager, but turns out that wasn't something I wanted to do. So while I was in school, my freshman year, I had the opportunity to come across real estate, and I decided to get my license as a leasing agent. So I'd help a lot of friends rent their apartments and whatnot. It was a great job because firstly, it offered me the time freedom I wanted, could work whenever I wanted. And also I was my own boss, so it was kind of like you eat what you kill. That really attracted me to real estate. Didn't think I was going to do real estate after college, but I actually did end up doing real estate after college because of the fact that when I was a junior, I got to sell a downtown condo. Got me a lot of commission. I was about 20 years old or 21, and I just loved it.
Oh, you got hooked on that money. You got hooked on that money.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, the time freedom, this was from a referral. So I did a good job as a leasing agent. And a friend was like, hey, you do leasing, so you must do sales as well. I didn't really know anything about sales, but I figured it out. So summer of 2019, I graduate. Didn't really know what I was going to do, but I had the leasing background. So I was like, you know what? Let's stick to it. I did some research. I looked into house hacking. I read a lot of real estate, and I was like, you know what? Let's stay in Austin and let's stick with the real estate full time.
Awesome.
So I would listen to a lot of podcasts. I ran across Diego Corzo's podcast. He's a great guy, and he said that he was in Austin. So I was like, you know what? Let's meet him. I met him, and long story short, I am part of his team now. Do full-time sales with Diego Corzo at Keller Williams, and I currently have 3 properties.
Awesome. So let's really get into this then. That's a great overview. Thank you. So, I mean, what'd you end up graduating with as far as your degree?
So I did international business because I studied abroad for quite a bit, and I don't do anything with international business, so it's pretty funny. I just really like traveling and have been grateful enough to travel, so yeah. International business with a certificate in real estate.
Okay. And where'd you end up doing your study abroad work?
I did it in France. So when I was 16, I was sponsored through a group called Rotary, and they took me to France for a full year. In hindsight, I think when I went to France, since I was with a host family that didn't know any Spanish or English, I kind of had to take it upon myself to learn it. So I think that's why I really like my own freedom and my own time to do things. And I think in hindsight, that's kind of why I gravitated to real estate through like the high vibrations that I would set out,
Yeah. So how'd you do at picking up French? Did you have to learn pretty quick?
Oh my gosh. Google Translate was my best friend. I swear. I did not know any French whatsoever, but I had to pick it up like that.
So, I mean, obviously international business is its own unique thing in some ways, but I mean, you learn a lot about supply chain, accounting, logistics, management. Has any of that actually helped set you up for what you're doing now of managing investment properties and working on Diego's team as a real estate agent?
I feel like leasing helped me a lot to know how to talk to clients and property managers, and also know how to go through ins and outs of leasing. Whenever I'm house hacking, you need to set up contracts, you need to do your due diligence. Now, on the international business side of things, I really think that helped me kind of know how to talk to people, because in international business, you're dealing with clients from all over the world. Yeah. So I really know how to tailor my conversation to someone maybe that's from here, or also looking into disc personalities. You know, someone might be a high D or a high S or something, and that's based on your personality. So international business helped me relate that by knowing how to talk to people better.
I love this, man. I mean, everyone, when they hear someone else's story, they're always like, well, they had an advantage, or like, I don't have anything. And if you actually start to look through, it's like, yeah, you had this leasing experience was a little bit of a plus for you, but then there's tons of other folks that have international business and like, oh, buying a house hack or investing in real estate has nothing to do with it. And you just found this cool way of like, well, hey, I had to figure out how to communicate in a language where no one else, you know, could speak my language. So I had to quickly learn it and use Google Translate and understand different people's personalities.
It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah. You made it your own unique advantage. All right. So you'd obviously been around the real estate world from the leasing side. Had you heard about house hacking yet? Or was it when you stumbled across Diego's podcast is where that popped up of house hacking? Or did you just know about real estate and then you ended up on a rabbit hole of Google and came across it?
So I remember this like vividly. I still remember it. The leasing company that I was a part of, I was like, hey guys, I want to buy a house and this and that. And they're like, no, property taxes are too high. You can't do anything about it. So I initially kind of closed my mind to that. I don't know why I just let one no be the reason to why I didn't house hack sooner. So after that, I was like, oh, I want to buy a house, but now I don't. Then came the summer of 2019, and I really did a lot of due diligence. That's when the term house hacking came by. And that's when it opened my eyes to the possibilities of me not having to rent. Because, I mean, who really likes renting? I had rented for 4 years at UT Austin. Thankfully, with the money I made as a realtor, I was able to pay for all of my college and my living expenses from junior to senior year. But I mean, I wanted some way to passively pay for that and not really have to work for it, you know? I did work for the house hacking stuff, but you know what I mean, the passive side of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it takes effort up front, and then once it's going, you just got to do a lot less work to manage it. All right, so you're in college, UT Austin. What were you paying for rent, you know, just as you were graduating?
So I was living with a lot of friends. They're freaking awesome. We were living in a 4-bed, 2 bathrooms, and we're like 7 roommates. So we were splitting the cost. All in, I was paying $600. If I wouldn't have been living a dual occupancy room, it would have been like $1,200. But it's just crazy. In UT Austin West Campus, students usually pay for an apartment, a 1-bedroom, 1 bathroom, like $1,600.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In a lot of markets, that's enough to pay your mortgage. It's insane.
Yeah. So one of the other reasons I wanted to bring you on is you decided to house hack new construction. So you came across house hacking. You realized this was going to be the idea. This is summer of 2019. How'd you end up looking at new construction? I mean, did you start just sort of looking at everything? Did you look at multifamily and then say, hey, it's just too hot of a market, the numbers don't make sense, and you ended up single family? So like, how'd you go from, okay, yes, I'm going to house hack, to deciding on the type of property that you wanted?
Yeah, I feel like it was really important to kind of know what problems I had, and then from there to know what solutions something could offer. So I was in a lease, and I remember I started looking for homes in January. My lease didn't end until like September of the next year. So that was 7 months from then. But I knew I wanted a house, and it was more so I'll figure it out. If I get a house under contract, I'll figure it out. I'll get someone a lease, and I know that I'll do it. So with this, there was a problem that I had. That was one problem. Second problem, as a 1099, which means that I'm an independent contractor, I can't get financing because I had been doing part-time, and I only started doing full-time in September of 2019, I believe, around there. So I needed 2 years. You need stable income for 2 years if you're making it as an independent contractor. Those were 2 problems I had. I did a lot of deal analysis though, and I knew what I wanted so that I could narrow it down instead of being, oh, I want this, but no, then this. Then I knew what I wanted. So, story that happened, it was actually last year. I was watching the Super Bowl with Diego Corzo, my business partner, and I had gotten my first client under contract for a home. So we're doing the contract. We didn't get to watch the Super Bowl because we're working on the contract. Then Diego tells me, it's like, Andres, there's a builder rep that just told me a home's coming off contract. If you want the home, you only have to put an earnest deposit of $1,000. The home closes in April. So I was like, wow. I go the next day, right when they opened. I looked at the home. Within 30 minutes, I had the deposit down. The home was mine. So
Awesome.
Close that. I figured my apartment situation out. But the great thing about builders is that they do lender incentives as well. If you go with their preferred lender, I got 2% of the purchase price towards my closing costs. And then also they have a warranty, which is amazing. It's a 1, 2, 10 warranty. 1 year of craftsmanship. For example, your window isn't closing, they fix it. 2 years of electric, plumbing, and HVAC.
Yep.
And 10 years of structural and roofing. So it's like you don't have to bid or anything. Some builders are bidding right now actually in Austin. But usually you're a standard builder. You just put a deposit down. The home's yours. You take advantage of the appreciation because you've already locked the price in. My home in February of 2020 got it locked in, closed in April, and I had, I think, like 5K in equity, 10K in equity. The other homes, though, that I have way more in equity because the market's so hot right now.
Yeah. So let's sort of take a quick second back. So, you said you narrowed down your focus on what you were looking for, but then this deal sort of came across. So, how'd you decide to focus down on that? And did this single family new construction meet your criteria, or was it sort of outside of it, but it seemed like such a good opportunity you wanted to jump on it?
It's pretty crazy because it did meet my criteria. So for me, it's minimum 4 beds, minimum 2.5 bathrooms. And I know where I want my homes in Austin. It's always east of I-35. That's the path of growth. Very important to know that in the path of growth, most likely there will be developments that up your home's value. And also knowing what employers are around there. So I have a lot of employers around here, Samsung, Home Depot, GM. And this opportunity came to me, and I just decided to pull the trigger because I knew my numbers and I knew my criteria.
Awesome. And then do you think you could have came across this deal if you didn't have the relationship with Diego? And what I'm getting at here is sort of this idea of networking, where if you only look for deals on your own and you don't build relationships with other people, you miss out on some opportunity. And it seems like this deal came across because of Diego, or you had the opportunity at this deal.
Oh, for sure. Now I'm super close to that builder that I didn't know him beforehand because I hadn't really been looking at new builds. For me, my thing was always the resales with my clients. Yeah. But now I tell you, I have like 15 under contract for clients of new builds, and I've closed like 10 new builds for other clients. I've really built, thankfully, great relationships with builders to where they tell me first if something comes off contract. They're like, Andres, this is off contract. Do you have a client that wants it? If not, we're going to put it on the market in 4 hours. So relationships are so important in this business.
Awesome. All right. So let's get into the details. It's 4 bedrooms. You got a couple bathrooms. What was your actual closing price?
4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. I put 10% down because I was looking at net sheets and what made sense. Could have put 3% down as a first-time home buyer. And that was about $28,000 out of pocket. I get $2,150 for rent. My principal, interest, taxes, and insurance are about $1,850. So with vacancy and whatnot, I don't really take CapEx into account because I have the warranty. After 2 years, I will. So all in all, I'm making about $250 cash flow while living for free.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So the purchase price was $280, give or take?
$286.
Awesome. So you put more money down. You said 10%. Is this did you do that to sort of get around the criteria of you being 1099, or was that not an issue because you went with the builder's in-house lender? Because, you know, you said that was one of the challenges that you were having when trying to get qualified for a loan.
Yeah, so I'm happy that you touched that because I had forgotten about that. So on my 1099, I couldn't get the loan. They said, you know what, you don't qualify because you don't have 2 years. So the solution I found was to have my mother on the loan. So she was a non-occupant co-borrower. And with that, it's a minimum 5%. But since I had closed on the downtown condo, which was an amazing commission, I still had that money saved up, and I decided to use that money to buy a home.
Awesome. And was this the equivalent of like the FHA kiddie loan program? Obviously, it's not a condo, but was it an FHA loan?
It was a conventional.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm happy because, I mean, the PMI can already be taken off. The home's worth like $40,000 more now.
Awesome. I mean, you made a couple of smart choices there, right? I mean, you didn't go below all of the money. Maybe you blew some of it, but when you had that big commission from selling the condo, you saved some of it. And then, you know, you're able to use that for a bigger down payment. Now you're essentially living for free on the home. And I love the fact that, like, you went this route of new construction for a couple reasons. One is you got this great warranty. Two, it's exactly the way you like it. And then three, there should potentially be more upside when, you know, you're in a neighborhood or a builder's building homes. A lot of times if they keep building that area, like if you're in that early phase to that second phase, builders always build in like price increases and stuff.
100%.
Awesome. So, I mean, you know, the other challenge you said you had was your lease at the place you were renting with all of your friends wasn't going to be up for quite a while. So how did that end up expiring, or did you have to sublease your old place? How did that end up working out?
The great thing was, through my leasing experience, I've had plenty of clients. So I reached out to all of them. I put like an Instagram story. And the good thing was that one of my really good friends saw that story and he reached out. My roommates got along with him, so it was perfect because it's important. I wanted my roommates to get along with this person. I wasn't just going to put a random dude, you know? So he reached out. Perfect, because right when I got my home, this guy moved in. So I didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. So I was able to get that sublease taken care of like that, which was really cool.
So, I mean, did you do anything special to get it leased via Instagram, or was it literally like you just with your phone and like, hey, I got to let someone rent my room. Anyone need a place, you know, put it up on the stories and then you got it? Or like, I'm trying to wonder if there's like a tip here, because there's so many folks that are like, they want to get into the house, but they're stuck in, you know, paying rent or a lease, and they're trying to like stagger this out. So, I mean, how did that work out? Was it just pure luck where you reached out to your network via Instagram and this happened, or did you do any sort of special marketing?
My network, thankfully, is a lot of people from Austin. I was there for 4 years, and I helped a lot of people in UT Austin, like a lot of people, because I was a leasing agent for 4 years. Yeah. So freshman year wasn't the best year for leasing for me. Sophomore year, no, but I built the system so that junior and senior year I had a great year, because everyone was like, oh, Andres is the leasing guy. And then in the business fraternity I was in, the other fraternity, and the soccer team, UT soccer team, the word would spread. So from there, we'd follow each other on Instagram or become Facebook friends. And there it was like, okay, Andres' stories might relate real estate, so people would look at them if they ever needed some help, I guess, with real estate, and they would just reach out to me. Now it's kind of snowballed into from leasing people are buying, so I've helped a lot of clients that were leasing to now buy in Austin, so it's been pretty awesome.
Because y'all grew up together to this next stage of life.
Crazy.
You moved from being college to now you're all young professionals, and they need places to buy. So any idea what your Instagram account, how many followers you had back then when you put it out? I mean, was it 500 people or like 2,000 people?
1,800 or 2,000 around there. What I would recommend, though, for people that are looking to rent, Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist are amazing. And that's how I would get some of my clients. I joined all the Facebook pages when I was doing leasing. A lot of demand. But I mean, it's also doing your due diligence and knowing what employers are around your area.
Awesome little great nuggets of information here about using the medium that is best suited for your clients. And in this case, you joined all these Facebook groups, but you also use Instagram, and someone saw this story. So that's awesome. So let's talk about the property now. I mean, are you doing like 2 people per room in the place you own, or did you like, hey,
no
we got
more
4
university
bedrooms.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's per bedroom, and my roommates are such good friends of mine. They're all UT grads except for one. He went to A&M, and they're super good friends. I'm super blessed because I haven't had to put my stuff on Facebook Marketplace. It's been more so just Instagram, and my friends reach out. And then the second home that I'm getting, it was the same. So closing on that in April.
Awesome. So I want to ask about that, but I have one more quick question for you. I mean, you were a leasing agent, so I feel like you probably knew better, but a lot of the folks that do like the roommate rental style of house hacking, and they're just out of college, when they let their friends live with them, it's like, oh yeah, just pay me, $500 a month. That's due on the first. And like, there's no leases. So did you do leases, or did you not because they're your friends? I mean, how are you working all that out? Like, you got them all because they're friends and referrals. Are you doing leases? How are they paying you? All of that good stuff. How are you doing the property management side of it?
Of course, it's definitely important to doing leases because you got to treat it as a business. The bad guy is the lease. You're not the bad guy. So it's like, hey, dude, you're my friend, but look at this lease. Look what it says, So setting the right expectations right off the bat is probably the most important thing. Because if you let something slide, then they're like, okay, subconsciously, he's going to let other things slide. Perfect.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how, UT also, the Instagram thing from leasing just snowballed. And I can't believe how crazy Instagram is to where I get clients from Instagram. I was featured on the Rookie podcast like 2 weeks ago for BP, so that helped. But all my friends are like, one of my friends recently was like, hey, dude, I want to buy a $2 million condo. And I was just like, yo.
I'm your guy.
Like, yeah, I'm like, hey, what's up? It's pretty insane, yeah.
Awesome. All right, so you mentioned a second property. I know a little bit of the details, but what made you want to start working on this second house hack, and when are you actually closing on it?
This one, I love this story because I got the bug of real estate when I closed on my first one. When I saw that first paycheck, I was just like, no way. This is actually real. You can't really feel it until you get the first one. Rent comes in. I was just like, no, this is awesome. So I got this second property knowing that you need to be in order to house hack, you need to be an owner occupant for 1 year. The benefits of that are lower down payment and better interest rates.
Yep.
So knowing this, I wanted a property and I wanted to lock the price before that full year because I know this market is nuts. I'm a realtor here and it's just insane. So the relationships I had built with the builders, I asked a lot of them, when do you guys have properties that close in April of 2021? Because my first property I got in April of 2020. They told me, look, this property I saw was a 4-bed, 3.5 bathrooms, which was ideal for house hacking. Got it under contract in June of 2020. Yeah, June of 2020. I'm getting messed up with the years. And locked that price in for just $3,000. Locked that price in for $326,000. This home, I just spoke with my builder yesterday, is closing in 2 months. I have $125,000 in equity. $125,000 just by putting $3,000 down, which is insane.
Very killer. And that's specifically from locking it down before the prices have increased in the area. You have any idea, I guess, are you going to keep doing room rental in your current place and then move into the new one and then do room rental there as well? Or are you going to look at converting your current place to just a flat lease?
Yeah, I love that you touched that because one thing that's important whenever I talk to my clients, it's really, okay, what are your goal strategies and whatnot? Let's see what the rents per room are. You never know if you're going to like being a landlord or not. And then let's also see what the whole unit can rent for. It's crucial to know that so that you kind of know some of your exit strategies. So right now for me, I don't mind being a landlord. Been doing leasing for about 5 years. So I'm going to rent this room out and it's probably going to be $800. So that's $1,000 in cash flow. I don't mind putting in the time for $1,000 in cash flow.
Will it rent as a flat lease and be cash flow positive? Or do you think your exit strategy is, when I get tired of doing room rentals, I'll just sell it and capture all that appreciation?
For me, it's buy and hold for long term. So what I'll do, I'll just do a flat lease on the whole home whenever I don't want to manage that, and have a property manager.
Awesome. And then how are you going to get the financing for the second loan? So you had your mom co-sign for you on the first one. Do you now have enough 2 years of being 1099
Yes.
independent contractor where you can qualify? Are you going to use an FHA on the second one? Let's sort of talk about that process.
Of course. So with it's important relationships, like I said, I haven't had 2 years, I believe, this is my first full year, but through the relationships I have with the lenders, and thankfully I've been blessed to have a great year with real estate, I qualify on my own now. So I'm going to be conventional. I'm probably going to put 5% or 7% down by looking at the net sheets. The net sheets is just a breakdown of all your costs and the PITI. So with that, I'm going to look at net sheets, probably going to be 7% down on my own. Conventional.
And for folks that are listening or watching on our YouTube channel, explain that a little bit. So you're saying net sheets, and you're going to balance your down payment based on that. So I think this is an interesting concept that we haven't really touched on. Can you just expand on that for the listeners?
Of course. So it's very much so knowing what your goals are. My goals are 200 in cash flow. So I want to see net sheets and a breakdown of what I'm paying monthly and what I'm getting from rent to see if this works or not. As an investor, what's important are the numbers. You can't get emotional on something. If it doesn't make sense with the numbers, then don't go for it. It's that simple. A lot of people get emotional. It's like, dude, you're an investor. You're going to live in the property for a year. That's what I'm doing. And then leave. If the numbers make sense, go for it. But if they don't, then just don't do it.
So I love this here, because it's not only you thinking about your exit strategy or how you can shift it to be owner occupant to a longer term rental, but you're also looking at, hey, I've got cash to put down, 3 to say 10%. What's the optimal amount in that range to get me the cash flow that I want, and also the return? Because a lot of times people will only think, well, I need so much cash flow per door, but you can essentially buy more cash flow per door by putting down a bigger down payment.
Exactly.
That can reduce your total return. But if you're in the hot market and you've got the cash flow that you need, you then have the ability to get that equity pay down, and at the same time plan for that appreciation. We never want to only plan for pure appreciation, but you're doing the smart thing. It's like, I'm looking at this and balancing how best to use my cash for my longer term strategy, so I can last the long term to capture that appreciation play in there. So it's brilliant, and you're one of the first house hackers that have actually talked about that. That's why I wanted to bring that up. So awesome. As a former loan officer, I know exactly what you're talking about, but it was great to sort of call that out for folks.
One thing that I would say, a lot of people just focus on the cash flow. Really, you want to break it down from your loan equity pay down perspective as well, because you're having your renters pay down your equity. That's huge. If you are paying it down all on your own, that's a liability. It's money coming out of your pocket. It becomes an asset once you're offsetting that. That's very important, equity pay down. Another thing that's huge, look at your rent savings. That's how you have to look at your return on investment. If you wouldn't be buying a home, you're probably going to be renting. So what are you saving on rent in the long term? So equity pay down, rent savings, that's very important for metrics.
Yeah, especially the rent savings for house hacking. Not for just general investment property, but like you said, if you wanted to go live on your own, I mean, even what you're renting was $600 a month to double occupancy. Or say you said, hey, I'm busy professional, I need a little bit of my own space.
Yeah, I would have been living on my own if after graduation.
And it would have been what, $1,500, $1,600 a month.
Yeah,
so
around there.
Yeah, it's not costing you anything to live, but it's freeing up this other rent savings, housing savings, which just lets you keep piling money and keeping that snowball rolling. I mean, this has been awesome. So 2 questions for you. What did you mess up on, or what would you have done differently? Knowing everything you know now, if you could go back at any point from, beginning of college on, what would you have done differently?
I Yeah, I love this question. I would have not let my limiting beliefs like stop me from doing more sales because I did one sale downtown. It was $1 million condo, which was amazing. But I would keep questioning my own thoughts and be like, am I like worthy of doing this? And I only did one. I mean, only did one. I'm super thankful that I was able to do one. But I feel like if I would have gotten outside of my head, and just gone for it, I could have done more building from that one onwards. So I feel like limiting beliefs were one big thing, and also just like, am I worthy of getting a house and whatnot? So I do a lot of affirmations, visualizations, and that's really helped me a lot. I think, okay, if I could have done something, I wish I would have had a morning routine because I do morning routines, the Miracle Morning from Hal Elrod every morning. That really changed my life. So affirmations and visualizations, if I could have done that.
Well, if you haven't read Hal's book, we'll put a link in the show notes. So definitely check those out.
Amazing
it's
book.
Awesome. But I love the fact that you brought up the limiting beliefs because a lot of the times we're our own worst enemy. And like we think we can't do something or we think we don't deserve something. And when we can overcome those obstacles, I mean, we're able to really, really succeed. So I love it. What do you think your biggest success was then, looking back over your sort of real estate career from starting doing leasing to now, getting ready to close on your second house hack?
What I love the most is that I've helped a lot of friends and they've told me that it's like they wouldn't have thought they could have bought a home until they saw me buy a home. So right now, a lot of my UT Austin friends have bought homes and I'm super happy for them because in the long run, it's going to build that legacy. And now people are asking me like, Andres, my year's about to be over for this first home. Let's go look at more new builds. So I just love helping people and seeing, okay, one of them was seeing my brother get his. It got me super happy. So, and now he loves real estate. So it was super awesome.
Man, it has been so awesome having you on. But before we let you go, we like to ask all of our guests a set of final 6 questions. Are you ready for them?
Let's do it. Bring it
on. Awesome. Question number 1. What is your favorite personal finance related blog, book, podcast?
One that I really like is The Power of Zero. That really puts a lot into perspective of how to deal with retirement accounts and tax brackets. The Power of Zero talks about how to get into 0% tax bracket. Very hard, but it's definitely possible. And it's really about managing your retirement accounts and then other accounts and whatnot. I have the book right here, actually. It is a great book.
Awesome. I haven't read that one. I'll have to check it out. We'll put a link in the show notes for
it's
folks.
Awesome.
All right. So question number 2, what is your favorite real estate related blog, book, podcast?
So favorite real estate, it's not even that real estate related, but it really helped me out. And I feel like this will help a lot of people out. It's called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And The Power of Now really talks about being present in the moment and not thinking of past or future events that have happened or will happen. When you're present in the moment, really helps out. One quote that I love, this is a little off topic, but one thing that I love so much that I tell myself a lot, affirmations, is that your state of life is nothing other than your state of mind. And I really believe that.
Awesome. Dropping the wisdom for us. I'm going to put that book in the show notes as well for folks if you want to check it out. All right.
Perfect.
A little more fun. Number 3, what's been your favorite travel destination so far?
Oh, Dominican Republic. Santo Domingo. I went with one of my best friends. I had so much fun. It's beautiful, beautiful. Got to go to the beach. Oh, it's gorgeous. And the food is amazing. My friend's from Dominican Republic. So it was a lot of fun having a local there take us around.
I mean, traveling anywhere is better when you have a local to show you around. Like, no, don't go there. That's the tourist trap. You'll pay like 5 times as much for a beer. Let's go over here.
Oh, yeah.
And, you get the cheap
Those
drinks.
Those good ones, the good places.
Yeah. All right. So number 4, what is next on your travel vacation list? So maybe planning something while COVID or once COVID's done, what's on that travel list for you?
Argentina or Colombia. I was going to South America. Then COVID happened. Everything happens for a reason, so whatever. And I'm going to go sometime soon. I have some friends over there, so I'm very excited to go see them.
Yeah, I haven't done Colombia. My wife has, but her and I spent 3 weeks in Argentina. We did a week in Mendoza just drinking
Beautiful.
wonderful Malbec for a week straight.
Ooh.
And then we were down in Buenos Aires. And I mean, it was phenomenal. I had to come back home to do some work. She traveled a little bit more, but man, we definitely want to go back.
Yeah, I've heard South America is beautiful, and I really want to go.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So question number 5. And you're still pretty young, so I'm hoping there's a lot of stuff on your list here. But what is your biggest bucket list item that you have not accomplished yet?
I don't know if this is mainstream, but skydiving. I did bungee jumping in Monterrey. Oh my gosh, I've never felt that much adrenaline when I told my friends I'm gonna be the first one, because I just want to get it over with first. So we were 5 friends in Monterrey. Bungee jumping was awesome. I really think it's going to be either skydiving or a bucket list. I'm a very big Arsenal fan. That's the soccer team in the back. I want to be a season ticket holder for Arsenal games.
Awesome. All right, so I got a little bit of a tip for you then on skydiving. If you go to Argentina, you can go skydiving outside of Mendoza. It was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been skydiving because you have the whole Andes Mountain there as you're skydiving. It was phenomenal. Yeah, so I've been skydiving
Mendoza,
a bunch.
okay, perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, it was awesome. So like, we didn't drink the night before because we had to get up early and the van picked us up.
Just like jump out, whatever.
Yeah, but it was awesome. Funny. I mean, you're like skydiving. The Andes are all in the background. You can see the little snow caps. And then once you get closer to the ground, you're just like wineries over there. It's just, it's beautiful. So
you land in a winery.
Yeah. All right. So question number 6, what is your favorite life hack?
House hack is a great life hack.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like everyone says that.
It sounds like the affirmations seem to be working pretty
I was going to say that, but I had already touched on that. Okay, if we're going to go into that, Miracle Morning for me is I can go over it very quickly if that's fine.
Yeah, go for it.
So, wake up at 4:45 in the morning. I do my bed. I have my alarm on my desk right here. My bed's over here further out. I never have my phone with me at night because it just gets you out of your mind, and then when you wake up, you're thinking of that. So 4:45, wake up, do my bed. Small wins are very important. Drink a cup of water, brush my teeth, then I go to the gym. I'm at the gym by like 5:05 or 5:10, an hour of exercise. Get home, do a cold shower, which I used to not like, but now it does help me out a lot. Cold shower, I meditate, then I do affirmations, then visualize, and then I read. And by that time, it's like 7:15, 7:30. But I can tell you that that's truly changed my life, especially the affirmations. And it's such a game changer. I think that's a life hack that if anyone starts doing it, within 2 months, you'll see it change.
It makes a big difference when you have the morning planned just to focus on yourself and sort of get aligned for the day. It's funny that you mentioned that cold shower. So I haven't been doing the cold showers. I've actually been doing the ice baths. So I got a big 100-gallon tank out back, and it's been hovering around. I started over Christmas, and here in New Orleans, the weather's perfect where it's been hovering around 45 to 55 degrees. So I get up, I do this breathing routine, and then I immediately go out and sit in the ice tank. Sometimes I wimp out after about 2 minutes, but most days I can get to about 5 minutes. But I mean, literally between my breathing, I go and do that plunge in the ice bath, and then I go have my coffee and read. I'm like, that's how I start my day. I'm like, when I don't do that routine, my whole day's off. So I'm right there with you.
It's so weird. And it's funny because my roommate, his name is Victor. Shout out to Victor. He started doing the morning routine, and he was telling me, he's like, dude, it's a game changer. And he was telling me that, I'm going to try the cold shower. So he's one of my roommates over here, and he gets in the cold shower, and I can tell he's in the cold shower because he starts screaming. He's like, ah. So I've turned my cold shower on even more, and I started screaming. And our roommate wakes up. He's like, dude, what's going on? It's like 6 a.m. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. But we always do that now just to joke around and bother our roommate. Get in the cold shower at 6 a.m. We're just like, ah.
Awesome.
Hilarious.
Man, well, thank you so much for coming on to share your story. If folks want to check you out, what's your Instagram handle? And we'll make sure to put it in the show notes, but they need to go check out your Instagram handle. So share that with us.
Perfect. It's Andres, Andres, Busta, BUSTA, TX. That's Instagram. And then I also have a house hacking blog that I write on. It's called househackaustin.com. It's not really just about Austin. It's about house hacking in general. But for SEO purposes, we put House Hack Austin.
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure to link for all of that in the show notes for you. But man, thank you again for being on the show and sharing your story with us.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.